Hey Pot Gang, it's Beth here. And today we're repotting Chuck the Cucamelon from the March box for the second time. So as you can see, Chuck's been growing really well, and now that it's mid-May, it's time to move him into his forever home, into one of our large pots. He's big, he's green, he's leafy, he's got some tiny little yellow flowers, and behind some of those flowers, there are tiny little cucamelons growing. So it's definitely time for him to move house. So in order to repot Chuck this time, we're going to need some compost, a large pot, and a saucer if you added them. So you want to grab your large pot and fill it up with compost. And you want to make sure that you're breaking up any lumpy bits. We want it to be nice and smooth. So now we've got our compost, we're going to make sure that the surface is nice and level, and we're going to give it some water before we put Chuck in there, because his roots are going to appreciate having a nice moist environment to bed into. Next, we need to make a hole in this compost ready to put Chuck in. It needs to be a pretty big hole because Chuck and all of his roots and all of his compost are going in there. So you're aiming for a hole about the size of this pot. So I had so much compost in that it was actually the best thing to take some out to make room for Chuck. So now we've got a nice big Chuck-sized hole. Okay, so now we've got to get Chuck and his stick and his roots and his compost in the hole. So very gently ease him out of his old pot. And remember to always try and lift by the compost and not by the leaves. Here he comes. And then lower him gently into this hole that we've made for him. There we go. You want to make sure that he's buried up to his first set of leaves. So once you've popped him in the hole, smooth the compost out around him and make sure he's nice and tucked in. And ideally you want his stick to be upright. My stick's being a little bit uncooperative. So Chuck and his stick and his roots are in. We've tucked him in right up to his lower leaves and we've leveled out the compost all around him. Chuck needs a nice sunny spot to live in outdoors, but overnight for the first couple of weeks you're going to want to bring him inside, and definitely if there's any chance of a frost, because he doesn't like getting cold. If you have a greenhouse, Chuck will be really happy in there as well. So as you can see, I've got a stake in my Chuck that he's already wrapping his stems and his tendrils around, and it's helping him stand upright. As he gets bigger, I'm going to put some more stakes in there, and probably even some longer ones because he could get quite tall as well. You want to water him every couple of days to keep his compost nice and moist. And if it's warm weather, make sure you do it more often. And if you've got any more Chucks on the go like I do, feel free to repot them as well. So Chuck's going to stay in this pot forever now. He's going to grow lots more of these tiny flowers, and behind them is where his cucamelons are going to grow from. We're going to check in with him in a couple of months when he's ready to be harvested.